All right, we're back for the second segment of the Laker Hockey Show, a Tuesday afternoon. Sunny outside, but only about 11 degrees when we came in here, so it's a winter day in Sault Ste. Marie. We've had a pretty tough winter to this point. And the Lakers are going to take on Northern Michigan University this weekend. It'll be here in Sault Ste. Marie, 7:07 on Friday night, 6:07 on Saturday night. Capo Cup on the line. We want to retain that. Got a pretty healthy lead for it right now, 2-0. We beat them 5-1, 5-0 over there earlier in the season, so it's a 10-1 lead in the goal differential, and they got a lot of work to do there. I don't know that they can do that, but they'll be tough because they've been playing a lot better. I think they lead the nation in block shots, so obviously Dave Shayak knows he doesn't have a lot of offense, so he's going to stop you from scoring. Even their forwards have 7, 8, 9 block shots apiece. That's a lot of shot blocking going on, and that'll make it tough. It's tough to score goals when the other team's blocking a lot of shots.
Yeah, they play hard. And before we get to Northern, Bill, we don't want to take anything for granted because I believe we got swept in Marquette last year to start the Capo Cup.
Yeah, that's right.
And
before
Northern returned the trip, and we were able to return the favor with a better goal differential. So We're not taking this weekend for granted. It's a big weekend, rivalry weekend. The Capo Cup sitting in the middle of the locker room all week long, to remind the guys exactly what this weekend means. So we'll be prepared and ready for a tough one Friday night. But 100%, Coach Shayak's done a great job. They play hard and they're playing a little bit differently structurally here in the second half, and I think that's why you're starting to see a little bit of the results start to change for them. They went to Bemidji, had a great weekend. I thought they played, obviously watching this past weekend back, I thought they played well against Bowling Green. And again, overtime on Friday, I believe.
Right.
And a regulation loss on Saturday, but they played well. I thought they played hard. And again, structurally, they're doing things a little bit differently. So I think the weekend is going to look a little bit different than the one in November did. But again, we're excited to go to battle against Northern.
Yeah, their leading scorer has 15 points. The Lakers' leading scorers have 18. Connor and Timo Bakos each have 18 points. So, it's comparable there. They don't score a lot of goals, though. Their fourth leading scorer has 9 points on the season. So they have to be good defensively, and I think Ryan Ouellette's a pretty good goaltender that they've got. He's got great stats, 2.85 goals against average, .918 save percentage. Those are a little bit better stats than Rourke Appleby, although Rourke's played way more games than Ouellette has. But they'll be tough. They're going to be a defensive team, and I know Dave Shayak, and I'm sure he's spending most of his time right now concentrating on recruiting. He's also got Andy Contois working there. That's a former Laker player who transferred to Northern and became a Wildcat in the last part of his career. But they got a pretty good staff there. They're going to do some good recruiting. I think that's a team that'll rebuild in a hurry. I think 2 years from now it'll be a much better team than it is right now. But it's going to be tough this weekend because they're going to play hard.
100%. And defensively, I think, when we were there in November, it was a little bit more passive and trying to protect the middle of the ice for them. They're much more aggressive defensively now. They're going to take our time and space away a little bit more. And so we need to be prepared for that. It's not going to be, some high rolls in the offensive zone and things like that. A bunch of movement and a bunch of easy puck touches. That's not what it's going to be. They're going to come and take our time and space away. So we need to be prepared. But I think you're absolutely right. And you can see some of, obviously on social media and Twitter, you can see recruits and how it happens and when players commit to different programs. And Northern's going to be just fine. They've got some good players coming in here in the next few years.
What's wild about their season, they open up with a close overtime loss at then number 12 Colorado College, get beaten pretty heavily the next night, beat Anchorage, go on a stretch where they score more than 2 goals in a game like once in a couple of months, beat Minnesota State in a shootout, of all teams, right? And then they come back from the Christmas break, bump off Minnesota State, then 12th ranked, beat them 3-2, and then knock off Bemidji twice on the road 4-1 and 3-1. This is a team that has 4 wins all year. They're 4-23-1, and yet they've got as many high wins, highly ranked wins as half the teams in the country at this point. How does that happen? How does that happen?
It's because they play hard. And I think Bill, I should have mentioned the goalie too there, Olette, like he's been awesome. And, just it is what it is. They get outshot most nights, and Ryan plays unbelievably well. He was really good, I thought, when we were there in November, and he's done a really nice job. And Matt, if you go back a little bit farther, I don't know what the scores were, but they start off their second half against Michigan State, I believe, at the GLI, right? And that's a tough matchup, and they played them really hard. Played a good game, and then it's an overtime loss to Michigan Tech, I think. So even though they didn't win any of those 2 games down in Grand Rapids at the GLI, I think they probably gained a lot of confidence there, playing those 2 teams really tight, and that nice little comeback there against Michigan Tech at the GLI in the third period. So I think they've done a really nice job. They seem to have turned the page a little bit here in the second half. And again, they're playing harder. They're playing with a little bit more speed and pace offensively. So it'll be a tough matchup.